All right, team. We're back. Wanted to do a quick breakdown. A couple long runs the last 2 weeks that were solid. One was 2 weekends ago, Saturday morning here in Miami. We did 13 miles, super Z2, like Z2 threshold. So I think it was like 9 minute pace, 9:30 even, like really really easy. But what we did was we parlayed it into a local 5K race, which was really fun. I put up some highlights on one of my other shorts, but I ended up winning the race first overall. I think I came in at like 18:56 or 52, so it was like 6:04, 6:02 minute pace. Pretty happy about that, given a 13-mile run beforehand, so definitely wasn't on fresh legs, but strategized the race. I just sat behind this one strong runner. He was probably like 40 years old, and he was clipping like 6:15, 6:30 to start, and I just followed him and just lasted about till 2.5 or 2.75 miles, and then I kicked at the last minute or two and breezed him and came through first overall. So it was a smaller race, probably about 100 people, but good confidence builder, being able to put threshold miles at like 6:06 pace for the last 3.5 or 3.2 after that 13 miler. So that was good. And then this past weekend, I had a 20 miler on the books, and I was up in Boston. So the weather was obviously a lot different. Wasn't super comfortable getting out there at 45 degrees, but it was a sunny day, no clouds. I bundled up and just did a bunch of laps around my hometown and popped into different tracks, the high school track, the other private track that we have, and went back and forth from home to grab just a quick sip of water or some fuel. Did 4 goo gels, I think it was, 2 bottles of water, definitely underhydrated. I probably could have brought a handheld, but I left it here, so that was something that I regret. I do strongly suggest, I have gone handheld. The Nathan handheld water bottles are phenomenal. You can also keep a goo in there or a gel in there. There's a little pocket, so I thought that's great. I was against it, but the water bottles and the belts were weighing me down. It felt like I threw off my hip alignment. 20 miles, I clipped off 8:19, 8-minute 19-second pace. The heart rate stayed on average at 141, which I was really happy about. So still maintained Z2 for probably 95% of the run. It was about 2 hours and 45 minutes, so good time on the feet. I think this weekend I'm scheduled for 16 miles, so I definitely want to mix in, depending on how fresh I am, with tomorrow being the track and Thursday being tempo, how I'm feeling, and what kind of recovery I'm at. I'm definitely going to try and push some marathon goal pace miles there, some half marathon pace miles, just to, get comfortable running, whether it's miles 12 through 14 or 10 through 14 at marathon pace, just to get comfortable in that threshold on the long run. But that was those 2 really fun things. Super exciting to get out there and race. I do love race days. I missed the big one here in Miami this past weekend, the 305 half marathon and 5K. I probably would have done the 5K, but in the same breath, it's good to stay consistent with training, not get too far off and get locked into some of the short-term, like smaller local races, but just stay locked in for Eugene. We're about 2 months out now. It's April 28th, so March 3rd, March 4th. So we're looking at, a month, basically 2 months. So we're getting close, trying to stay disciplined through it. I think the biggest thing is just staying in that routine. And, there's obviously a lot of social distractions, and, I work a full-time job too, so gotta put that into play, and that's priority. But it's been fun. It's a really infectious community down here. There's a ton of runners, ton of people, with similar goals. So you just kind of latch onto them or try and latch onto people who are faster than you. So you kind of, set your brain to their strides or their paces, and you get more and more comfortable with those paces. And I think that's the ultimate way to get better. Obviously, trying to up the miles. I think this past week I was at 54 miles this week. So slowly ramping that up. Last week I was at 50, the week before that 49, week before that I think 47, 48. So clicking off high 40s, low 50s weeks. This week I'll probably be low 50s again. Listening to my body, I haven't had really any injury. I had a little back pain, lower back pain tweak, but got over that fairly quickly. Still maintaining, an hour or 2 hours on the stationary bike, strength training, a lot of push-ups, a lot of ab work, the 8-minute abs. The guy at the pond, it's like a 1980s video. Strongly suggest that for daily abs. It's 8 minutes. If you want to switch it up, there's a Bowflex one that's 6-minute abs standing. So it's a little different, hits a little different muscle groups in the abs, which I like. So that's kind of what I've been focusing on. I'm going to continue to do so. I also was speaking with one of my other friends in the running community here. He's more of a triathlete this year, but having Chicago, I did get into Chicago through a charity, which I'll announce later, but being able to come out in Eugene with nothing to lose mindset rather than just beating 3 hours and 17 minutes or trying to push for 3. Maybe I'll just come out aggressive at that 650 clip and try and hold it as long as I can and PR, and then just work off that base through the summer and maybe do a half marathon training cycle in the summer, run a half, and then start my Chicago training block. But again, weddings, bachelor parties, some travel in the summertime. It's going to be a little bit choppier, so I am happy with the way the marathon schedule has kind of filtered its way in this year. But obviously the goal is 3 hours or less by the end of 2024, and another star. So with Chicago, so I have Boston and Chicago, and then I applied for New York, and we'll see if we get in there, but otherwise it's going to be Berlin or London next year, more than likely. So that's kind of the update. The long runs have been fun. Definitely laser focused on nutrition and fueling. That's something I'm still learning. I study it a lot. I talk to a lot of the nutritionists here locally, talk to friends who've done it a lot more times than me. My first marathon training block, I did not know nearly half of what I know now. So if you're just getting started, just be a sponge like anything else, and just latch on to whoever you run with or whatever racing club. I can't suggest more highly than to join a team or a racing club or even a social run club that just holds you accountable to going once a week. You talk to different people, you meet different people, you get their goals, you can kind of realign your goals, see how they run, compare yourself to them, all those things. But 2 really good, solid long runs the last 2 weeks, and I'm just hoping this week I'm going to put on a little bit more marathon pace miles, maybe 5 or 6 of them out of the 16. So we'll keep you posted.